Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 80th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. The team I'm in today consists of Brotherhood member Steve Longshanks. As you might remember, Steve Longshanks and myself introduced a 31k game to Rome Total War about 7 years ago now. Up to then we've been playing 30k games, but we thought that extra 1,000 would just give you that extra money to make your army just right. And since we introduced it 7 years ago, it seems to have been very popular. When we first started 31k, people said, well, why are we playing with an odd number? But pretty soon they come to like that extra 1,000, and it's proved very popular ever since. Our other teammate is Brotherhood member Killer B, who has bought the Rome BROTHERHHOD faction. Then we have Brotherhood member Sam Crow, who has bought the Rome SBQR faction. And myself, Spartan Commander, who has also bought the Rome SBQR faction. So there's our team there, full of experienced Brotherhood members, and I'm sure this will be a great game to watch. You wait till you see the other team, full of experience as well. At this stage of the battle, I thought you might like to have a look at Sam Crow's army, and especially a very seldom bought unit to 31k, and that is the Town Watch. Now the Town Watch, I think, is possibly the second cheapest unit that you can buy on Rome Total War, and is very, very rarely bought to the 31k battlefield. But if you notice that Sam has put that cheap unit as part of his Piler Shield. Now of course, it doesn't matter whether you pay a lot of money or whether you pay a small amount of money. As long as that unit soaks up the enemy pilers, then there's no harm in bringing it, really. Obviously it hasn't got a lot of morale, its stats are not very good, but I suppose as long as it soaks up the enemy piler hit, it's best for the cheap unit to be killed rather than your more expensive urbans. So it'll be interesting to see how that unit does. And here is the other team. We have RTW player Olon, or Ulon, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that, who has bought the Rome Julii faction. We then have Brotherhood member Tigranus, who has also bought the Rome Julii faction. Then we have Wolves member Parker, who has bought the Rome Scipii faction. And then we have Brotherhood member Uther, who has bought the Rome Julii faction. So I'm sure you would agree there that that's a pretty good team, full of experience, and like I said earlier, I think this could be a great battle to watch. At this very early stage of the battle, I just thought I'd show you a panoramic view of the battlefield as both teams' armies are starting to square up against each other. If you notice Steve Longshanks' army here with his Piler Shield units, rather than having them, if you like, lengthways across the front of his army, he's got them actually sticking out from his army. That's an unusual Piler Shield formation there. And as you can see there, there's all the armies there squaring up against each other. So I think the way things are looking here, it could be a great game. At this very early stage of the battle, you can see that the enemy Julii faction here has moved in as I'm moving out to the left, and as you can see in the centre here, the enemy Scipii army is aggressively attacking our SBQR ally here. And as I say, this is a very, very early stage of the battle, so for the enemy Scipii general to be attacking as early as this is very unusual. Usually people like to kind of soften up the units in front of them a little bit, but as you can see, he's quite aggressively attacking there. So that'll be interesting to see what happens at that part of the battlefield. As you can see, they're exchanging pilers at the moment. And I would think that there you go, Scipio's attacking, Scipio's units are attacking very aggressively there, so I just hope our ally will be able to hold. As you can see, it looks like there's a massive Scipioid cavalry hit coming in here, and he sent in infantry units as well, so it's an infantry and cavalry hit there, and bang, as that cavalry goes in. Sam Crow's infantry did well to hold there. I was expecting to see some of the SBQR units starting to rout, so he did really well there. That was one heck of a cavalry and infantry hit there. As you can see, I'm charging my cavalry in there. I initially charged them into the enemy cavalry, but the cavalry is pulled behind now, so what I've done, I've changed direction. If you notice, I'm going to smash into the back of the enemy Scipioid infantry that are engaged with Sam's infantry. I'm hoping to rout some of those Scipioid infantry there, but I can see that the Scipioid cavalry coming in, so I need to get out of there fast, otherwise I'm going to start losing a lot of my cavalry. But as you notice, I pull back a couple of the enemy Scipii infantry units are starting to rout. And if you notice, Sam Crow, seeing the danger of the enemy cavalry coming into mine, he sent his infantry forward to give me support. That was a nice move there by Sam Crow to try and take a bit of pressure off my retreating cavalry by sending his infantry in to halt the Scipii cavalry. If you notice now, Uther's Julii cavalry are smashing into Sam Crow's infantry as well. Sam's doing incredibly well here to be able to hold against these massive cavalry hits that are going in. As you can see now, I'm sending my cavalry in again to try and relieve a bit of pressure off of Sam's infantry. But I think a lot of my cavalry were battle damaged in that first charge, so I'm not sure how good they would do there. If you notice, I'm moving my infantry across now as close as I can to Sam's army, just to give him a bit more support there. Because with these massive cavalry and infantry hits going into Sam's army, he's losing lots of men, and the last thing we want is one of our centre armies to give way there.
The enemy general is running away. This is no way for a leader to behave, but in battle, it's
as you can see, I'm moving my infantry even closer to Sam's now, even trying to kind of integrate in with Sam's infantry there, just to give him as much support as I can, because he's got a heck of a lot of battle damaged units there, and one massive cavalry charge could possibly rout them.
Great gods be praised.
Meanwhile, over on our right flank, Steve Longshanks is doing extremely well there with his Brutii army there on the right flank, and with Killer Bee's help as well. There's a lot of enemy Julii left there, but Steve and Killer Bee between them are doing extremely well there on our right flank, as you can see. Lots of aggressive action going on here, very, very aggressive by the enemy team here. It wouldn't surprise me if some Julii cavalry charged in there to support his infantry. And yep, there you go. Bang, as that Julii cavalry hits. Now I've spotted the danger there, and if you notice, I'm bringing my SBQR cavalry over from the left flank to try and relieve some pressure off of Killer Bee's infantry there, because that was a heck of a cavalry charge, bearing in mind that all his infantry were engaged already with Julii infantry. So you see my cavalry hits, and I think Killer sent some of his cavalry units in as well there. We've managed to rout a couple of the enemy Julii units there. But if you notice now, I'm pulling my cavalry back. I got the most out of that charge bonus. If you notice, there's Julii cavalry charging in again to Sam Crow's battle damaged units there, trying to get to his general at the back. You see Sam's got his general at the back to give his units as much morale as he can, but if you notice, Uther charges cavalry right through to try and get to his general. As you can see, Uther's moved some units out to my left flank here in an attempt to attack my flank, but I've moved units out to try and block that move. As you can see there, I'm sending in some of my cavalry there to help Sam Crow's infantry, but by the looks of it, from what I can see there, most of Sam Crow's army has been routed at this stage. I think both new players and veteran players watching this can see that things are not looking very good. Right, I'm going to pause the game here so we can take stock of exactly what's happened. As you can see here on the left flank, I'm just about managing to hold against Uther's very aggressive attacks here, but if you notice, he's got the upper hand with cavalry. And I think that cavalry could make all the difference when he charges them in. So it's kind of just holding on there on the left flank. In our centre, I think Sam Crow's army has basically been routed. There might be a couple of battle damaged units left, but I think most of Sam Crow's army now is, as I say, has been routed from the battlefield. So that's one of our centre armies now is gone. There's Killer B still managing to hold in the other part of the battlefield there in the centre, but things are not looking all that good. The only good bright spot for us over on the right flank, where Steve Longshanks seems to have done incredibly well there, and I just hope that he'll be able to get his army around the back of those enemy engaged Julii infantry and maybe take them out. But I think, to be honest with you, in general, looking at the general state of the battlefield here, I would say that things are definitely not looking very good for us. Let's see what happens. As you can see there, Uther's got most of his cavalry there. They are a little bit battle damaged, but if he charges them in, that could cause all types of trouble. I think most of my units are engaged, and there you go, Uther's charging his cavalry in. Bang! If you notice, he's going for my general. Can you see there? You can see the way that the cavalry came in there. Bang! He's going for my general, because he knows if he kills my general, obviously the morale of my troops would drop. And bearing in mind that all my units are really hard pressed at the moment trying to hold, if their morale drops, it could lead to a mass rout. Now, Uther, using all of his years of experience there, knows if he can get my general, then they pretty well got a good chance of winning on our left here. There you are, see how he's pulling back out. He's got the most at that charge bonus he could get, so he's now going to pull out, probably with a view to charge in again. If you notice that Steve Longshanks now has routed, I think, most of the enemy Julii on our right, and is bringing his victorious army across now to support. Now the thing is can I hold on until Steve gets across? This is a big question, because they've got so much cavalry left. If you notice that the Julii infantry are kind of all round me at the moment, and it's kind of going to be touch and go whether I can hold. Steve's coming across as fast as he can, but it is going to be a pretty close one, I would say, here. And if you look at how much cavalry Wolves Parker with the Scipii cavalry's got left, that could make a heck of a difference in this battle in the end.
The enemy general is slain, and now his men fear us. It is time to press the attack.
If you notice, there's a Julii cavalry in behind me as well now. And so overall things are not looking very good on the battlefield for us. And with all that enemy cavalry out there, they could charge straight in. So this is the taking stock of the situation at this late stage of the battle. As long as Steve can get his army over quickly, I may well be able to hold against the attacks that are coming in on me. See, what they would really like to do is take me out here on the left flank, so they can then turn all their units onto Steve. So I'm trying to hold as much as I can. Let's see what happens. As you can see, the enemy Scipii cavalry are coming in. Bang, straight into my tired units.
The gods be praised.
Steve's victorious army coming on the right is starting to make some inroads into the enemy team there, but it still kind of seems like a little bit in the balance to me at the moment on which way this is going to go. But routing the enemy general there was pretty good for us, because as you all know, if we rout the enemy general, then the morale drops of his troops there, so that's pretty good there. If you notice here, you can see that the Scipii cavalry are moving in behind my infantry units there. And my guess is the reason they're going to do that is because they're going to smash straight into the back of my engaged infantry. There you go, a classic hammer and anvil attack. Can you see Uther's Julii infantry are kind of the anvil holding me, and then the enemy Scipii cavalry coming behind and smash straight into me. A classic hammer and anvil attack there that has routed several of my my SBQR units there. So things are still pretty bad here. As you can see, there's still a lot of that Scipii cavalry left, and that could make a heck of a lot of difference. If you notice that Uther's bringing some of his Julii units across now to battle with Steve Longshanks' infantry here. I think gradually, though, from what I can see here, there seems to be A lot of the enemy units are starting to rout now. Steve's victorious army bringing them over from the right seems to have done the trick there, and I'm just about managing to hold on as well. So between us we're managing to do not too bad here. But as you can see, there's still a lot of that Scipii cavalry left there.
Your allies are no friends of Rome. They are running from the field like cowards.
I would think all the battle damaged units that I've got left will be absolutely exhausted at this stage, but now is not the time to give them a rest. I'm going to start using them aggressively. I'm going to start charging. Can you see how I'm running all the units? I'm charging them straight into any enemy that I can see now. I just think that this is a stage of the battle where the enemy units will be tired as well, and I'm just going to become really aggressive and charge my units in there. In the hope that the aggression shown by my units will cause a rout of the tired enemy units there.
The enemy show their true virtue. They are not soldiers.
And I think from what might have looked a bad situation for us earlier, if you look now, I think we've managed to kind of turn the battle around there, and it looks like we've kind of pretty well won this now. But it was pretty precarious for a while there, and as you could see, it looked pretty bad for us when we'd lost the whole army in our centre. As you can see, the dead and the thick amount of dead laying on the ground bears testament to how tough this battle was. As you can see there, you see there's massive cavalry hits here. See all the dead cavalry? That is absolutely masses of them there. So it goes to show where the main action was. I would just like to say really well played to everybody in the game there. There was a lot of really great teamwork and some really good tactical moves. I thought the massive cavalry hits that were going in there, especially at the beginning of the game, I was just amazed that Sam's infantry managed to hold against the impacts of the cavalry. And I always like to see an aggressive game, because remember, if you're aggressive, you keep your opponent on the back foot. You've got, he's got to react to what you do. So it's always good to be aggressive, and as you can see, the other team were extremely aggressive there. I really like to say really well played to our team as well. Lots of great support, lots of tactics going in, good tactics going in there, and really great gameplay by our team, and also really well played to the other team too. There was lots of great moves, real aggressive moves too, and they played really well. I hope you enjoyed watching the battle. This is Spartan Commander saying hope to see you soon, and bye for now.